Hi. Hello, all you beautiful and highly evolved souls. Today, I would like to talk to you about things that might hold you back in your healing journey. So the first one is, and these all come from being, raised by narcissistic parents. So the first one is shame about our feelings or not allowing our feelings. So when you have a narcissistic parent, of course, yeah, they likely will, deny or dismiss or shame you for whatever you're feeling. So this can obviously hinder our process of healing because the main thing to do is to feel our feelings. So, it just takes practice little by little, feeling those feelings and noticing that there might be shame around it, and to affirm to yourself that it's okay. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry or scared, and that all of your feelings are okay. And it takes time. You're building trust also with your inner child, that subconscious part of you. And it will gradually, you'll gradually kind of build that connection and be able to feel your feelings more and more. Another one is the shoulds and the criticism that we get from, the narcissistic parents. So I've often found in my own healing that I'm thinking I'm doing it wrong. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Or just thinking I should be doing something different or something else. And this also comes from the conditioning from our childhood. So it's sometimes nice to just remind yourself that you're always doing the right things. You might have a mantra like I'm always doing the right things, or I'm always getting it right. And whatever you're doing is right. Yeah, you really can't get this wrong. There's so many different pathways that will, lead you to the same place. So another one is, we're really conditioned to be productive, be busy, and this pressure of, always like kind of getting things done. And in general, in our society as well, is a lot of kind of that kind of mentality. So it's important to remind ourselves that it's okay to, take it easy and slow down and rest. And resting is doing something. So important to allow yourself to, just to, yeah, just to really be gentle and slow sometimes, because this is a hard process. Another one can be toxic positivity. We may have grown up thinking that we're always supposed to be cheerful with a smile on our face and thinking positive. And healing is not about. It's not about, actually. It's probably quite the opposite. It is turning toward the darkness and the pain and the difficult feelings. So it's leaning into that, and reminding yourself that it's okay to grieve, and it's a natural human process to grieve, and also to be honest with those kind of the darker side. And the darker side isn't even, it seems really scary to be confronting some of those feelings, but it's really like your inner child, just screaming out for help, like she's right there in the present with you. And sometimes it might be just like, she thinks she's going to die. I've heard that sometimes, just vaguely, just kind of very subtle, like, I think I'm going to die. And she just wants to be validated and comforted. And, I know it must be so scary for you right now, like as if it's really happening, because in that subconscious part of you, it's like it's happening right now, like when you're in that kind of flashback. So, yeah, you don't have to be cheerful. I mean, you're human, and this process takes going into the like shining a light on those dark places. Another one is, a kind of, your parents might have had like kind of a fix it kind of attitude, that there was something defective. Like this is very common with the scapegoat, that they're the defective one, they're the problem one, they're, the one who's, somehow, I don't know, just inadequate. And so we grow up with this feeling that there's something wrong with us when there isn't something wrong with us. We were abused, right? So if you think of like, a rape victim, you wouldn't say, I need to fix this person who's been raped. That person just, there's nothing wrong with them. They just need healing. So we have to come to this process of healing as, with compassion and curiosity, and not like, I need to fix myself and, make myself better, or, we're healing wounds that came from, the abuse of our parents. And that will also get easier too as the layers of denial come off. Another one can be kind of future surfing, where you're really just always kind of leaping into the future, thinking, what am I going to do about that? And how am I going to do this? And what if this happens? And this can really just take us out of our bodies, and it can just leave us in our head, kind of overthinking and maybe over analyzing things, and not really doing anything in the present. So I have a couple of mantras that I use. The present is the only thing I can experience. And it's funny how, once you like actually come into your body and have that trust of just the next step, that's all you need to know, is just the next step. Another one is, when I take care of the present, the future takes care of itself. We can't actually take care of the future. Sometimes, we're trying to manage things, and it's really just managing and controlling, which is also kind of a conditioning that came from being around narcissistic parents, because we were, trying to control things around us that were really uncontrollable. Yeah, so another one is that can really get in the way too is, the invalidation and the gaslighting. Of course, this is a very, very common thing for narcissistic parents to do to their child, that, invalidating their feelings, their experiences, their preferences, their opinions, their ideas. Everything is wrong, 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 and so, we don't trust ourselves, and we don't trust our own feelings, our own wisdom, our own intuition. And it takes time to start to build that trust, that, when you're having that feeling, that you're not telling yourself, oh, I must be overreacting, or, that's kind of self-gaslighting. So it's kind of overcoming that, that kind of, the invalidation that we've been taught to do to ourselves. And that, again, it's just something that comes with time, over and over again, validating what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. Another one is perfectionism. A lot of narcissistic households, perfectionism, everything has to be like done perfectly. And you learn that if you're perfect, then you don't get punished so much. So you try to be the good girl or the good boy. So one thing that sometimes helps me is if I just say, I'm doing the best I can, and that is enough. I'm doing the best that I can right now. And sometimes I just cry when I tell myself that, when I'm like, I'm struggling and I'm trying to get everything right or something, and so just, have gentleness with yourself. And there is no perfect, there's no perfect way to doing this either. A couple more here. One is just a general sense that you might be failing because you're bringing up all these, dark and difficult feelings, a lot of suffering, a lot of emotional pain. I mean, it's almost like going to hell and back, it's like, you can, like, I know I sometimes compare myself to others. I see someone in the elevator and I'm like, oh, they look so successful, and how do they do it? And just a general sense that I'm falling short, or I'm not, you know, because I'm feeling like, and I'm feeling tired, and I'm grieving, and I don't know, I think I'm in a flashback, and I feel ashamed, and I'm just not feeling like my shiny self. So, but if you know your true self, like who that sense, that just the essence of who you are, your spirit, and that is what is enough, and is what God created you to be, and you can never be failing as being yourself. And so it's also important to define your own success. Like, what is success for you? I was thinking about this morning. Like, is it, is it getting things done, or is it being present in my body? Um, Maybe it's validating yourself. Maybe it's feeling your feelings, setting boundaries, connecting with God. Maybe these are, a better way to say, I'm already succeeding. And even as I say that, I can say, like, I can hear the kind of like, no, that's not true, you're not there yet, which brings me to the next point. And that's the I'm not there yet. That there's just one more thing I need to do, and one more thing I need to heal, and one more of this, one more of this. I need to be one more step ahead to again, to be enough, or be sufficient, or and it can just be a nagging, really subtle sense that there's just still something left to do, like just one more thing. So you might want to tell yourself, just look how far I've come, and think about like how much healing you've done in the last few months or the last few years, and go, wow. And you might want to like write down some of the progress you're making, or the shifts you're noticing, even if they're small ones, like I was taking the bus yesterday, and this woman came up to me to ask for, some directions or instructions or whatever. And, she came up quite close, and I'm still like being COVID conscious. And I'm like, that's too close for me. And so I took a couple steps back, and I wouldn't have done that before. Like, my people pleasing self would have just stayed there going, well, I don't want to offend her. But now I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if I offend you. I am going to take care of myself. So this is like a big step, and we need to really, even just saying that, I feel more pride in myself, because I'm just always like, well, so much of my days are still like just swamped in the shame, and it can be very subtle. So it's so important to, keep noticing, oh, this changed, and I made this progress, and this was shifting. And because it can be so small that we don't even notice it day to day. But, maybe at the end of your week, like, what are the things you notice that you did a little different? Maybe a behavior changed, or your thinking was a little bit different. And, it is happening. The healing is happening. If you're doing the work, it does happen, and it's slow, and it's gradual. And I just want you to know how important the work you're doing is. And, God is looking on you like, wow, like, God is cheering you on, and loving you. And, what you're doing, like when we awaken ourselves, we change the world. Every person we interact with, you know, um, that's changing the world. So you're a cycle breaker, and so be proud. And that's it for today. I am wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I'm Davina at Boldness Blooming. Thanks for watching.